couples to give up couple equity, and with that, in different sex couples, they then throw gender equality under the bus with it, and that then widens the difference. That isn't to say that there aren't other issues concerning gender in the workplace, but this is a major one that almost every woman with care responsibilities knows about but doesn't get discussed enough.
Thank you.
Yes. We have a question here, but you need a microphone. Can you step forward maybe, or if there's a mic there? It's coming a mic here.
Can you hear me? So, my name is Marta Paterlini. I'm covering scientific topics for La Repubblica, and the main Italian newspaper. I have a question for Professor Goldin, but it's open to everybody, actually. A few days ago, the PISA reports were published. I don't know if you're familiar with it. And they show a big drop in scientific knowledge in kids, especially in Europe and US. And in some countries, like Italy, there was a dramatic drop in knowledge of math in girls, little girls. What's your view? And then I open to everybody, like, what would you be your suggestion to governments to start with education in kids, which is dropping?
So the very large drop that we see in PISA, we see it in most of the standardized tests, has come about, and I don't know whether it's entirely true in Europe. In the United States, this has come about because of what happened during the pandemic. And so during the pandemic, we finally saw and realized, and hopefully we'll keep it in mind, that the care of children is enormously important and that schools are phenomenally important. And closing schools had enormously large negative effects. And it may be, we saw that this was larger in math. In the US, we did not see, as I recall, a big gender difference. But if we do see that, it's pretty clear that we should do something about remediation. And we know that we've had to do remediation in the US, and we've been very slow about that. I hand over to my friends to my left.
But maybe we can see first if there's some other questions to the other laureates. Yes, please.
Hello, my name is Bogdan Radajewski. I'm from Polish television TVP Science. Congratulations to all of you, first of all. And I have got a question because both in physics and in chemistry we've had awards this year that's been awarded for discoveries that actually has been made many years ago, but only now found or begin to find some practical application. And I wanted to ask, what do you think that says about the importance of basic research, even in such fields that at first glance might not seem much practical? Thank you very much.
Yeah, who would like to address that? Professor Krauss?
Well, I think these fields do provide an excellent example for how important basic research is, how little chance we have at the moment of making some discoveries what this is going to be good for, but later on they may turn out to open the door for unforeseeable applications. This is definitely the case for us in attosecond physics, attosecond science, and I guess the quantum dots provide similar examples.
Professor Bavende, do you want to comment?
Yes, I want to comment on that. The gap between a discovery, a fundamental discovery, to a commercial application is about 30 years. And that really hasn't changed. In the internet age, it was thought that this process could be sped up, and certainly governments have tried very hard to speed it up, and I wish it could be done. but it shows that the fundamental science is crucial for the discoveries that are, for the technologies that we're going to be needing in a couple decades from now. And we discount funding of basic research at the cost of our future children.
There was a question there. Yeah, please.
So Carmen Rodriguez from the Spanish news agency, EFE.
Close to the mic, please.
Yes. So I have two questions. One is for Professor Goldwyn. You talk about pandemic, and I want to know if remote work can be a good thing for women in order to try to fill the gap with men, between men and women in salary and in equality.
Yeah, please.
Thanks very much. Yeah. The pandemic was terrible. Many people died. It was horrible. In fact, we're celebrating in one of the Nobels, one of the most wonderful things, which was the ability to produce the vaccine at scale, an incredible thing. But it's also the case, oddly, that the pandemic had a bit of a silver lining, maybe even larger than silver, maybe gold, in that learning how, in a coordinated way, to work at home, to do commercial contracts and deals on Zoom, to make eye contact with people in another continent, has meant that individuals with care responsibilities do not have to spend much time flying to another place, and that does mean that it will equalize some of the differences. I view it as making the greedy job more flexible and making the flexible job more productive. Both together are extremely good for those with care responsibilities, and that is disproportionately around the world women.
Yes, please.
My name is Corina Negre. I'm coming from Radio Romania, and I have two...
Very close, please, to the mic.
Very, very close. Okay. Close enough. Okay. I have two questions. One is Professor Claudia Goldin. Now that you, your research is Nobel approved, to say so, maybe it can be used by the Nobel Committee to select more women, because you are only the second woman for the economic prize. Oh, sorry, third. And another question is, so you looked back in the history, 200 years. Did you find common situations in the world regarding women accessibility to work?
Well, I think what's important to realize is that there are always common differences and common issues, but that there really has been progress. And so some time ago, women could have a job or a family, a career or a family and then a job, a career and then a family, and now a career and a family. That is real progress. So even though we bemoan the fact that there isn't equality, we have to recognize the fact that we've had a lot of progress.
And I still have a...
We can wait, we can spread the word. But I have one question actually to Professor Bruce. When you made your first discoveries that later led to the development of the quantum dots, could you foresee at that time all the revolution that we see today using quantum dots?
No, really. We thought that quantum dots might be useful in the transistor industry, but basically providing basic knowledge about how the properties of semiconductors would change at very small size. That was relevant to the design of computer chips. I had no anticipation at all that they could be used as phosphors in televisions and things of that sort. I mean, looking back over a long time, most all the applications that people come up with are not the ones that basic research scientists were thinking about when they were working in the lab. It typically works out that someone makes a discovery and then they think that it will be useful in a certain place. But in fact, if you talk to the people in that industry, it's not an important problem they're thinking about. Something else is a much more important problem, So somebody will, we publish our work and other people read about it and they make a connection to the problems they're trying to solve in industry. You have an inkling with what might happen, but there's just no way to know for sure. It's extremely hard to predict future technology.
And if I ask Dr. Yekimov, I guess I will get a similar answer. When you did the first experiments with nanocrystals in glass, could you foresee that it will be made soon later than in a solution, and then in the way we see quantum dots today?
Everything is going little by little. I mean, no rush, and it is not possible to push something faster or not, because it is a natural process. If some problem is solved, the problem will find the people who need this decision. I think again it's natural process, natural, as it was, about men and women. When I came to America, I've seen some occasional demonstration, and on the road there was a man, elderly man, and it was placard, man or woman, decision of the Lord. And that's it. Everything is told. That should be like this. Not the subject of discussion. Woman should decide, does she not, or what? That's my opinion.
Oh. Okay. Other questions? Yeah, please.
Hi, I'm Gafili from Nordic Chinese Times. I have a question for Professor Claudia Golding. From your amazing academic work, we learned that girls will form their expectations of their future expectations from their mother's generation, but it's not always the case because there's a gap in the time period. My question is, how important would you value the re-education of the adults to the mothers, and would that make any impact to the girls' educational expectations?
It was a bit difficult to hear. Can you just recapitulate the core question very close to the mic, please?
Okay.
In very short, very close.
Can you hear me now? I'm wondering how would you, what impact would you value the re-education of the adults to the mothers? Would that make any difference to the impact of girls' future educational expectations?
Well, I'm going to answer as I think I understand the question, which is that there are generations, and there are parents, there are children, and it's often the case in countries that experience very rapid economic, educational, social change that the parents have different expectations than what the children see as what they ought to be doing. And these expectations are codified in norms and traditions, and these often hold countries back in terms of economic development. And it's one of the reasons why many of the countries that have had the fastest economic change now have the slowest rates of fertility, of total fertility rate. It's an extremely important issue, and not one that we can easily solve, because it has to do with rapid economic change, and that's a good thing. Thank you.
If there are any questions to Professors Agostini and Leer, you're welcome to ask them. Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you. Bettina Bernadotte from the Lindau Nobel Laureate Meetings. It's a meeting where Nobel laureates meet the next generation of scientists. And my question would be, if you had to give an advice to the next generation scientists, what would it be? What made your life as a scientist worth all the hardships in it?
Yeah.
Please.
I think my advice would be, if you like to do to a young person, if you like to do physics, just go for it, follow your intuition, and go for it. This is my advice. Don't listen to too many people, just follow your intuition.
Can I ask a question to Professor Agostini? What do you think that the Nobel Prize will mean to the field of attosecond physics? Will it speed up further developments?
I'm not sure. What about zeptosecond or yoctosecond? Yeah, not attosecond. This is killed, overkilled. Yeah, I would not give any advice for that.
Well,
no.
But if I ask all of you, do you think that the prize in itself will sort of promote further developments? Will it be more excitement, more interest in your respective fields?
Yeah, I think it absolutely does. It puts visibility on our field of research, and also people start to think about maybe possible applications in other domains. So I think it's very important, and we see that already. We have maybe students that are interested, and so it's definitely very important.
And the prize is an incredible encouragement that what we are doing is not just out of fun, but maybe one day some important developments and important applications will emerge from the discoveries that we have made.
Yes, please.
Hello, good morning. Hungarian television, public media. My name is Elot Palpal. I have a question to actually all three of you, the laureates in physics, regarding your cooperation as you are sharing this prize and you have the discovery, all three of you. Did you all have, during this whole time of your discovery, the common sense, and you did not have any fight about the truth, the reality? Were you all convinced about this fact, or you had to persuade one another and convince you?
Well, if I may start, I think our example provides actually a beautiful, or our case provides a beautiful example for how science actually can work and can bring together ideas even without the actual people behind those ideas knowing each other. So we did not have, at least from my end, we did not have any close cooperation, but I personally benefited a lot from the work of both Anne and Pierre, and felt fertilized and felt inspired by that work.
I can add a comment on this. Actually, this field of research is very much European, has been very strong in Europe, and the reason is actually support from the European Union since a long time, with European networks that make all people meet and exchange ideas. So I believe that this was, and really from the 90s, we have been meeting at these European networks and exchange ideas. So I think this is very nice instruments from the European Union. I hope they continue with that.
Perhaps with one little addition, Europe plus a very big stronghold based in Ottawa by the activities of Paul Corkum.
Okay, time is running, so I think we have to let that be the last question. Again, thank you for the laureates coming here to take part in this press conference. I thank all of you for coming here. And tomorrow we have the prize lectures to be given by our laureates in Aula Magna at Stockholm University. So I look forward to seeing all of you there. Thank you.
Sure. Stand up or?